Hello! So, Sebastian is Hero of the Month. This is a pretty good one. Like, I know, like I said, I think about, they did a poll, and I think about a third of the people voted for Sebastian, which didn't surprise me. I put my vote towards Sebastian just because of how important he is. He is, like I said, really the best hero in the whole game. Like, he's absolutely must have. And his souls, I mean, you can get them from the Tournament of Elements. Like, you can get them from here, but they cost certs, which, one cert for 5 souls. Trading certs for souls, I really recommend against that if you can avoid it, but Sebastian really is that important. It's okay to trade some certs for it, for him, but with him being Hero of the Month, this is a good way to get his souls, and that way you don't have to spend your certs on him, spending enough certs just to summon him, which you only need 30 souls, so 6 certs to summon him. But with this, if you don't have him already, you'll get him in 5 days from now if you've been logging in every day. You get him on the day 7, so this is actually will give you essentially 30 souls for Sebastian. So you will get him summoned, and you'll get some more souls. The event goes on. So yeah, even if Sebastian's only 2 or 3 stars, he's just that important that you still want to use him because he's that powerful. I mean, we're going to talk about that because this is the most important hero in the game for both PvP and PvE. So in PvP, right, Ode to Serenity, the whole metagame is built around this ability. This ability, Ode to Serenity plus Bubbles Justice, are the 2 most important abilities. Like, Bubbles Justice is Axel's ults. So those are the 2 abilities that define the entire metagame. Like this right here. So what this does is remove all debuffs from the allied team and conjures a shield that prevents debuffs from being applied 15 times. So this means if there's any heroes who are stunned or anything, right, when Sebastian uses Ode to Serenity, all those debuffs are gone, and then the next 15 times an enemy hero tries to put a debuff on one of your heroes, Sebastian blocks it. He also blocks stuff from pets like Mara, whatever. So 15 times is quite a bit. And because he still gets energy charge, he'll get to use again. But he also has his ability called Public Idol. This lets him start the battle with extra energy. For my Sebastian with no pets, he gets 69% energy. If he, so you can actually raise that above 70% with a lot of investments in Ascension or with pets. Like if I have Fenris or Albus on him, he will be over 70%. That's a huge boost to his starting energy, so he'll get to use his ult really fast and put up his Ode to Serenity really quickly. And Sebastian has forced many old strategies out of the metagame because I have been playing this game since before Sebastian 3. I remember Sebastian's first released. Jorgen used to be the best hero in the whole game because of his status effects, and then when Sebastian came along, Jorgen became a lot worse. Jorgen used to be the best hero in the game. Now, I hardly ever see him because he's just not that great anymore because Sebastian has forced him out of the metagame. Satori is another hero pretty much forced entirely out of the metagame by Sebastian. And all the teams that you do see, you have, everyone uses Sebastian. Or you have to play against Sebastian. I mean, Sebastian's literally the most used hero in the game. If you just look at Arena, you'll probably find a lot of Sebastians. Right, so just 8 of the top 10 teams right here on my server, Sebastian. So, and but you see the same guild where he's the most used hero in the game for a reason. Because that Ode to Serenity really is that powerful. And we haven't even talked about his other songs that work for physical attack teams. He has this battle song that increases critical hit for all allies that have the stat for 5 seconds. This might not seem that good until you realize when he uses ult, his artifact weapon actually gives critical attack to the whole team. So if the critical attack buffs up, and he plays battle song, like I said, he'll actually double that critical attack. So whatever he'll add, extra critical hit chance. So that's 88, 98, 114%. That'll take the whole team's critical hit chance above 20k while this battle song's going if he just ulted. If you have over 70% energy with Public Idol, his first ult pretty much coincides with his first battle song. So they actually will go in tandem in certain situations. Having 70+% energy will cause his first battle song to happen at the same time as first ult. So those will stack. And then he has this ability. This allows him to do pure damage. This is called Striking Solo. Ally critical hits deal pure damage while affected by battle song. This Sebastian is the one who does this pure damage. This is super important when you start getting to pets. And then that's what we're going to talk about because pets end up being a big part of that. Like I said, so he can do 113% damage, like mine can, with his current build. 113% damage striking solo. If you put Albus as his patron, he'll do another study. So this increases pure damage dealt by 75%. So Sebastian pretty much does, like, so if a hero crits for 100k damage, Sebastian will do about 200k damage with Albus as his patron. If he's maxed out, the paths, like I said, you were talking, like I said, pretty much does double damage with Albus patron at high levels, right? Like a hero has 100k crit, Sebastian with Battle Song in his striking solo will do 200k damage. Like he can do a lot of DPS. And when you look at like the guild boss, Sebastian is top DPS on the guild boss. This is PvE content. Like I said, he's good in both PvP and PvE. Like the guild boss isn't up when I'm making this video, but I will show an image from like a previous week where you can see that Sebastian's DPS really is just tops. Like he can do insane damage, and that's because the striking solo in combination with the Albus patron niche. So he's just really good. Like, and a lot of times, like a lot of teams can't even make good use of those abilities. Like PvP, like a lot of times you can't even really use those abilities. You'll put him in magic games because he's that good. Like he's this powerful. The Ode to Serenity is this powerful that even if you can't make much use of the Battle Song striking solo ability, you'll still put Sebastian in your team. Because Ode to Serenity is that broken. He's just super powerful. And, we touched on his artifacts. He does buff artifact, critical hit. He has a critical hit physical attack book. And then, of course, he has agility ring. Physical attack is, of course, the main stat that raises his public idol skill. That's the one you want to focus on usually, is public idol. Unless you're in a physical attack team where you need the critical hit, the old loot is generally going to be the least important artifact to get. For most players, you probably want to start with the agility ring because it has the most physical attack on it for him. Like this, because this doesn't raise physical attack a whole lot, but the ring of agility does. For most players, this is going to be your first main focus, and then you'll probably do, like I said, probably the loot and then the book for most people, because this just does not add a lot of physical attack. It's pretty minor. Whereas this agility ring adds like almost 12k when maxed out, so keep that in mind. That's a lot of physical attack for him. Plus the armor, like adds 4k armor as well. And then of course glyphs. Physical attack would be your first priority, followed by agility, because that's the next physical attack one, and then probably magic defense, and then health or critical hit. I guess depends. Like critical hit could be good if you're trying to, but a lot of people always save critical hit for last, so usually it's physical attack, agility, magic defense, then health. Skins, again, physical attack, romantic skin first, default skin, then dark depth skin last. And so Ascension, he has a support, which is actually the main role a lot of people focus on because of how important the support heroes are for guild boss. How important Sebastian is particularly, but also Isaac and Nebula are also important for the guild boss. The Stone Cold line uses all three of those heroes, so support, like I said, it's my strongest branch. It's a lot of players' strongest branch just because it builds these three heroes all simultaneously. Of course, the downside is they all require the same resources in Ascension, which is like, so when you look at Ascension, he gets a lot of, he does get a lot of physical attack notes and some agility, some more critical hits. Does get some health. He does get some armor pen which is actually big because he doesn't have a lot of armor pen from gear. Like from just equipment, he only gets like 4k. He doesn't have armor pen skins or glyphs. So his armor pen was pretty much non-existent before Ascension. So now his basic attack actually does do some decent hits if you can put him with like I said, so he doesn't actually have to be paired with an armor pen buffer to do damage. Like I said, if you were putting before when you're putting in magic attack teams, you didn't really care too much about the striking solo or the critical hit artifacts because he just, like I said, he didn't have the armor penetration to really take advantage of himself, and the rest team couldn't, so there just wasn't a lot of priority. But yeah, mostly he gets a lot of these physical attack, but like I said, he does get pretty good sizable armor pen now because if you look, like I said, most of his armor pen comes from his Ascension tree. So keep that in mind, like if you want to do some innate damage. He still has fairly low armor penetration, but it's definitely a lot better than it used to be. I guess we did touch on Albus, but we should talk about, he does have two more other pets he can use, and those are Fenris. which generally is the least used pet on him. Fenris, Blind Rage is probably the worst patronage ability. And like the main thing Fenris adds is, for most players, is that it adds, see, where's my thing? Oh, right here. Adds Power Pen. That's the main reason you do it. Like I said, Sebastian only has one basic attack. Like, I mean, it helps him, but not as much as Albus. You want Sebastian to do more damage, you put Albus on him most time. Fenris does help. Like, it does raise physical attack a little, but Albus raises physical attack the same amount. And he also has a pure victory. The other pet I said that used to use a lot on Sebastian is Oliver. And this gives him more health and armor, and also gives him the Eternal Bloom that gives him regen. This is mostly just to keep him alive, because keeping Sebastian alive can be important in some fights. So you'll see Oliver on Sebastian a lot. So it's usually either Oliver or Albus, just depending on the line. Physical attacking teams will tend to have Albus as the pet, but in lines like Magic teams that really can't make use of Albus on Sebastian, you'll see Oliver a lot more. So those are generally the main two choices. Like, you can't use the other 5, so we aren't going to discuss them here. But yeah, no, Sebastian's a must-have hero, and this month, having him Hero of the Month is pretty good because, like I said, a lot of you guys might not have him yet, and he's a big boost to your team. And, he's just absolutely worth investing in for both guild bosses and PvP. Anyway, I hope you guys found this video informative. Thank you for watching.